My CEO said, "Pretend to be my boyfriend or you're fired." I said, "I really don't want to lose my job." The skyline shimmered like a sea of neon, but tonight it felt cold, distant, and completely indifferent to him. He had spent the last 3 years working at Elysium Corp, one of the most advanced tech companies in the solar system, pouring every ounce of energy into coding, simulations, and virtual reality designs. And yet here he was, waiting for a meeting that could completely change his life, or end it. The door slid open with a soft hiss, and Mara Voss, CEO of Elysium Corp, entered. Her presence was magnetic, almost unnerving. She walked with a quiet authority, her dark suit perfectly pressed, her eyes sharp and calculating. She carried a thin tablet, tapping it occasionally as if the numbers and schedules mattered more than Alex himself. "Alex," she said, her voice calm but firm. "Sit." He obeyed, though his stomach churned. Mara never used unnecessary words, and when she did, they always carried weight. "I'll get straight to the point," Mara continued, tapping her tablet. "The Interstellar Tech Summit is in 3 days. Our company must appear unified and strong, and convincing." Alex nodded slowly, unsure where this was going. He had attended summits before, but nothing in his career had prepared him for what came next. Mara set the tablet on the desk and leaned back, her gaze sharp. "I need you to pretend to be my boyfriend for the summit." Alex blinked. His brain froze for a moment, processing the words. "Excuse me." "You heard me," Mara said, her tone unwavering. "You will accompany me as my romantic partner. Smile, socialize, answer questions, be believable. If you refuse, I'm afraid your employment here will be terminated immediately." Alex's throat tightened. The ultimatum hit harder than any threat he had ever faced. Losing this job meant losing access to the Elysium Research Lab, the projects he had worked on for years, and the chance to make a real difference for the nearby colonies struggling with environmental collapse. His mind raced, pretending to be her boyfriend, at a galactic summit. The very idea seemed absurd, but the stakes were far too high to argue. I really don't want to lose my job," Alex said carefully, choosing his words. Mara's lips curved into the smallest hint of a smile. "Then you understand what must be done." Alex exhaled slowly, forcing himself to focus. He didn't like it. He hated it. But sometimes survival required compromise. And in this case, the survival wasn't just his own. It was the lives of countless people depending on the technologies he was developing. "Fine," he said finally. "I'll do it." "Good," Mara said. "You'll need to be convincing. No awkward silences, no nervous twitches, no hesitation when speaking with delegates or the press. You are my partner for the next week, Alex. Do not forget it." The weight of the task pressed down on him as he left her office. He walked the corridors of Elysium Corp, passing teams of engineers and AI specialists absorbed in their work. Everyone seemed oblivious to the storm brewing in his life. Alex's mind raced with questions. How would he act naturally? What if someone asked personal questions? How could he survive an entire week pretending to be in a relationship with the most formidable woman in the galaxy? That night, he barely slept. He practiced smiles in the mirror, rehearsed small talk, and imagined the summit filled with delegates from dozens of worlds. He pictured Mara by his side, poised and perfect, and himself stumbling over words, sweating in his suit, and somehow keeping the charade alive. 3 days later, the massive shuttle carrying Elysium Corp's delegation landed on Port Nova, a city on a planet known for hosting high-tech galactic conventions. The shuttle hummed with energy, a smooth mix of advanced propulsion and sleek design, making even the most seasoned travelers marvel. Alex gripped his carry-on bag tightly, trying to calm the nerves twisting in his stomach. Mara entered first, confident and composed, scanning the crowd with a professional eye. Alex followed closely, reminding himself constantly to maintain the illusion. As they stepped into the convention hall, dozens of delegates turned to greet them, some from human colonies, others from alien species with forms and appearances Alex could barely comprehend. He forced himself to smile, his palms slightly sweaty beneath his gloves. "Alex, remember," Mara said quietly as they approached the first group, "confidence, warmth, and sincerity. People respond to humans better than they do to machines. Use that. Charm is more powerful than tech." Alex nodded, though his mind scrambled to match words with action. The first interaction came quickly. A group of dignitaries from Ceres Prime, known for their strict customs and piercing questions. Mara introduced Alex as her partner with effortless grace, and he stumbled through a polite bow. One of the dignitaries tilted their head and studied him carefully. "You are Alex?" the alien asked, its voice like a soft hum. "And you accompany Mara Voss?" "Yes," Alex said, his voice slightly higher than intended. We are partners." Mara's eyes flicked to him, sharp and approving. He managed a smile, and somehow the conversation continued. Alex noticed the subtle way Mara adjusted her posture to shield him when questions became too pointed, guiding him without a word. By the end of the exchange, the dignitaries seemed satisfied. Alex exhaled, barely believing he had survived. Over the next few hours, Alex learned quickly that pretending to be Mara's boyfriend was far more complicated than he imagined. Every smile, every gesture, every word had to be carefully measured. He couldn't relax, couldn't speak freely, and couldn't let the alien or human delegates see the stress building inside him. And yet, despite the tension, he began to notice something unexpected. Mara wasn't just the intimidating CEO everyone said she was. She was observant, thoughtful, and strangely reassuring in moments when he faltered. During a break, Alex leaned against the balcony of the convention hall, staring at the distant skyline of Port Nova. Mara joined him, sipping from a sleek metal cup filled with synthetic tea. "You're doing better than I expected," she said without looking at him. Alex swallowed hard. "Thanks, I think." "You are human," Mara said, finally turning to face him. "That's your strength. Machines can calculate probabilities, but they don't improvise, they don't empathize, and they don't act when instincts demand it. You, Alex, can do all of that." He didn't know whether to feel relieved or embarrassed. No one had ever complimented him like that before. Not in school, not in the lab, not even in casual conversations. Mara's words were both inspiring and terrifying. He realized that this charade, as uncomfortable as it was, might also be an opportunity to prove something, to herself, and the gala hall of Port Nova sparkled like a field of stars. Lights shimmered off the polished floors, and holographic banners floated above, projecting Elysium Corp's achievements in dazzling colors. Alex adjusted his suit nervously, straightening the tie Mara had insisted on him wearing. He had spent the last 2 days learning how to act normal around alien dignitaries, practicing handshakes, smiles, and conversational tones, but the gala promised something far more challenging: charm, poise, and constant social vigilance. Mara stepped beside him, serene and confident, her presence commanding attention. Delegates paused mid-conversation to greet her, some bowing, others simply extending hands in their culture's equivalent of respect. Alex followed her lead, offering polite nods and smiles, careful not to draw attention to himself. "You'll be fine," Mara said softly, her voice almost hidden beneath the music and chatter. "Just follow my lead. Speak only when necessary." Alex nodded, though his stomach felt like it was tied in knots. He had no choice but to act convincingly. Any misstep could unravel the illusion of their relationship and perhaps jeopardize the entire summit. The first few interactions were surprisingly smooth. Delegates from human colonies complimented their partnership, praising the harmony they seemed to share. Alex found himself relaxing just slightly, learning to mirror Mara's movements and gestures. Yet the moment he felt confident, a group of alien dignitaries from Fired.I approached. Their species had 6 limbs, 3 eyes, and a reputation for sharp questioning. Alex swallowed hard. Your presence together is unusual, one of them said in a melodic voice, tilting their head. What brings such a pairing to the summit? Mara smiled, placing a hand lightly on Alex's arm, a gesture meant to reassure him. Partnerships take many forms, Zyphora, she said smoothly. We are here to share ideas, exchange technology, and foster collaboration. Alex nodded and added, we work well together. Our strengths complement each other. The Zyphora dignitaries studied him carefully, their multiple eyes scanning for any sign of deception. Alex forced himself to maintain eye contact and breathe slowly. After a tense pause, they inclined their heads and moved on. Alex let out a quiet sigh of relief. Mara's eyes met his for a brief moment, and he thought he saw a flicker of approval. Despite the tension, Alex began to notice something remarkable. Even in this sea of technology, aliens, and advanced AI assistants, his humanity gave him an edge. He noticed subtle emotions, read body language, and improvised responses, things machines could not do. Mara, normally guarded and precise, relied on him more than he had realized. In a galaxy of perfect algorithms and precise calculations, a human's instincts and empathy were unexpectedly powerful. By the time the first formal dinner began, Alex had learned the rhythm of the summit. He smiled when Mara smiled, answered questions when necessary, and remained alert to every nuance in conversations. But just as he started to feel a flicker of confidence, trouble appeared. A commotion erupted near the central stage. A small group of individuals, masked and moving with precision, attempted to access the summit's hollow network, a system controlling the conference's displays, translations, and critical communications. Security droids moved quickly, but Alex's instincts kicked in before the situation escalated. Without thinking, he stepped forward, analyzing the system in seconds. If they get to the interface, they'll hijack the translations and disrupt the summit, he whispered to Mara. She raised an eyebrow. Go on. Alex moved closer to the terminal, bypassing the security droids, alerts with a combination of his technical knowledge and quick improvisation. He found the intrusion points and sealed them just in time, preventing what could have been a catastrophic failure in the summit's communications. The masked group was escorted away, grumbling but defeated. Mara glanced at him, impressed. Well done, quick thinking. That is why you are valuable. Alex swallowed the pride rising in his chest. It wasn't just about pretending to be her boyfriend anymore. He realized he had a role, a purpose, and a chance to prove that humans could still make a difference in a galaxy dominated by technology and species far more advanced in raw intelligence. The gala continued, but the atmosphere shifted subtly. Delegates now looked at him differently, some nodding in acknowledgement. Alex's confidence grew, though he reminded himself to stay cautious. Mara, meanwhile, remained the picture of perfection, blending grace and authority with ease. Together, they became a seamless pair, even if the relationship was entirely fabricated. During a break, Mara led Alex to a quiet balcony overlooking the city's glowing skyline. The hum of the gala faded behind them, leaving only the soft whisper of wind and distant traffic. You handled yourself well tonight, Mara said, her eyes reflecting the neon lights. Better than I expected. Alex forced a small smile. Thanks. I think I'm starting to understand what you meant about humans being useful. Mara tilted her head slightly. Useful? That's not exactly the word I would choose. Valuable, adaptable, capable of things no machine or alien could anticipate. You've just shown a glimpse of it. Alex felt a strange warmth. Mara's praise was rare, and receiving it in a moment of tension made it even more meaningful. He realized that their charade had already begun to teach him something important. In this vast galaxy, humans had strengths beyond technology, strategy, or alien biology. They had heart, intuition, and creativity. The following morning brought new challenges. Workshops, tech demonstrations, and collaborative panels filled the day. Alex shadowed Mara, answering questions when prompted, engaging in polite discussion, and observing alien body language. He noticed subtle tensions between delegates from rival systems, negotiations hanging by the thinnest threads. And in every moment he remained alert, ready to intervene if something went wrong. During a demonstration of a self-repairing energy grid, a minor malfunction occurred, threatening to halt the presentation. Security droids hesitated, unsure how to respond. Alex stepped forward, using a simple human solution, manual recalibration combined with observational intuition. The system stabilized instantly. Delegates applauded, impressed not by the technology alone but by the human ingenuity that had resolved the issue. Mara watched him with quiet admiration. "You are starting to see why humans are remarkable," she said after the panel ended. Alex nodded, a smile tugging at the corners of his lips. He felt a sense of pride that had nothing to do with pretending to be her boyfriend. It came from the knowledge that he was contributing meaningfully, even in this complex and high-tech environment. Later, during a casual dinner with a group of human delegates, Alex allowed himself to relax slightly. Conversation flowed more naturally, and for a moment he almost forgot the pretense. They spoke of the colonies, of challenges facing humanity, and of hopes for collaboration across planets. Alex shared insights from his work, and the humans listened intently, appreciating his knowledge and perspective. Mara watched from across the table, her expression unreadable but not unkind. Alex realized that their fake relationship had evolved into something more nuanced, a partnership based on mutual reliance, respect, and understanding, even if the galaxy at large didn't know it. By the end of the day, Alex was exhausted but exhilarated. He had navigated complex social interactions, prevented potential disasters, and even impressed alien delegates with his quick thinking. More importantly, he had discovered something essential about himself. Humans were capable of extraordinary things when they embraced their unique strengths, even in situations that seemed impossible. As he and Mara returned to their suite, the city lights of Port Nova stretched endlessly below them. Alex paused by the window, gazing at the glowing towers, the shimmering skyways, and the distant planets visible on the horizon. Mara joined him silently, the weight of their shared experiences lingering in the air. "You survived the first day," she said softly. "Not just survived, you contributed. That matters," Alex nodded. "I'm beginning to understand. Humans were not just replaceable. We're adaptable and maybe even essential." Mara smiled faintly. "Good, keep that in mind. This summit is just the beginning. There will be challenges ahead, but for now, rest. Tomorrow we face more and I'll be relying on you more than ever." Alex turned away from the window, a sense of determination building inside him. He didn't just want to survive this week. He wanted to prove that humans could make a difference, that intuition, creativity, and courage still mattered in a galaxy ruled by technology and alien intelligence. And as he prepared for sleep, he realized something else. The fake relationship, as strange and uncomfortable as it was, had unexpectedly opened a door to a new understanding of himself, his value, and the incredible potential of human ingenuity. The morning sun rose over Port Nova, casting a golden glow on the towering city. Alex woke early, his mind buzzing with anticipation and anxiety. The summit was entering its second day, and the schedule was packed with panels, private meetings, and technology demonstrations. But unlike the previous day, Alex had a lingering feeling that something was wrong. It wasn't fear exactly, more a quiet intuition, a human instinct that whispered of danger beneath the polished surface. He joined Mara in the breakfast lounge, where holographic menus displayed delicacies from across the galaxy. Mara was already reviewing reports on her tablet, her expression calm but unreadable. Alex poured himself a cup of synthetic coffee and tried to steady his nerves. "Good morning, Alex," Mara said without looking up. "Are you ready for today?" "As ready as I'll ever be," he replied, forcing a smile. Mara finally glanced at him, her eyes sharp. "Yesterday you handled yourself well, but today, pay attention. There are undercurrents in these discussions, tensions that even advanced AI may not detect. Humans, however, can sense them. You must be alert." Alex nodded, feeling the weight of her words. He realized that his role had shifted. No longer was he simply pretending to be a partner. He was becoming a key observer, someone whose human intuition could notice subtle threats others might overlook. The first panel of the day was a presentation on adaptive energy grids, a technology crucial to several colonies struggling with unstable ecosystems. As Mara spoke confidently, Alex scanned the audience. Most delegates listened attentively, but a small group at the back exchanged subtle glances, their postures stiff, almost calculated. Something about them didn't feel right. Alex leaned closer to Mara during a break. "Those delegates," he whispered, "I think they're hiding something. They're too coordinated." Mara raised an eyebrow. "Go on." "I don't know exactly what," Alex admitted, "but I think they're planning to interfere with the summit somehow. Maybe sabotage a presentation or access sensitive data." Mara's eyes narrowed. "Interesting. You may be right. Humans do have a way of noticing things machines overlook." For the next hour, Alex quietly observed the group. They moved in patterns that didn't match the rest of the audience. When a demonstration began on the Holo network, he noticed one of them attempting to access the interface discreetly. His pulse quickened. This was similar to yesterday's incident, but potentially far more dangerous. "Stay calm," Mara said softly, as if reading his thoughts. "Act only when necessary." Alex focused, analyzing the situation. He realized that if the intruders succeeded, they could manipulate the summit's communications, disrupt the panels, and potentially steal advanced research. The consequences could extend far beyond the summit, threatening colonies dependent on Elysium technology. Using a combination of observational skill and quick problem-solving, Alex devised a plan. He discreetly moved closer to the terminal, pretending to adjust his tablet while simultaneously overriding the minor intrusion attempt. His hands moved deftly, guided by logic, intuition, and careful improvisation. Within moments, the access points were blocked, and the threat neutralized without drawing attention. Mara gave him a subtle nod of approval. "Well done. I knew your instincts would be valuable." Alex felt a surge of confidence. He realized that humans' greatest strength wasn't raw strength, technology, or numbers. It was their ability to think creatively under pressure, to notice subtleties, and to act with courage when needed. In a galaxy dominated by advanced AI and alien intelligence, human ingenuity still mattered. The rest of the morning passed with a tense energy. Alex remained alert, observing interactions, noticing patterns, and predicting potential issues before they arose. Mara relied on him more than ever, consulting him privately during breaks and asking for his perspective on delicate negotiations. Alex felt a strange mix of fear and pride. He wasn't just pretending to be someone's partner. He was contributing in a meaningful way, protecting the summit and, indirectly, the lives of countless colonists who depended on the technologies being discussed. During lunch, a quiet conversation with a human delegate reinforced Alex's growing confidence. "You're handling this well," the delegate said, smiling. "Most people would be completely overwhelmed by Mara and this environment." Alex shrugged. "It's challenging. But I'm learning that humans have an edge. Machines calculate probabilities, but humans notice things, improvise, and act on instinct." The delegate nodded. "Exactly. Don't forget that. You're more capable than you realize." The compliment boosted Alex's morale. He realized that his role in this summit wasn't just about pretending. It was about showing the galaxy that humans were more than replaceable participants in technological progress. They were observers, problem solvers, and protectors. The afternoon panel focused on interstellar communication systems, a technology critical for linking distant colonies. Mara presented with her usual precision, and Alex assisted when technical questions arose. The same group of suspicious delegates from earlier seemed to be lingering nearby, watching closely. Alex felt a quiet tension coil in his chest. During a break, he approached Mara privately. "I think they're planning something bigger," he whispered. "Not just minor disruptions. They might try to manipulate the technology itself. If they succeed, it could affect multiple colonies." Mara's expression hardened. "Then we must act. I trust your judgment, Alex. You've already proven your instincts are sharper than many of my AI advisors." Together, they devised a discreet monitoring system. Alex used his knowledge of the network and Mara's access privileges to track suspicious activity without alerting the delegates. Hours passed as they watched, analyzed, and prepared. Alex's heart raced, but he focused on the task, reminding himself of what was at stake. Finally, the intruders made their move. During a live demonstration, one attempted to access the system, hoping to inject false data that would discredit Elysium Corp's technology. Alex reacted instantly. Using a combination of quick thinking and improvisation, he blocked the intrusion, rerouted the data, and secured the system, all within moments. The delegates remained unaware of the danger, and the presentation continued flawlessly. Mara's eyes met his, and for the first time she allowed herself a small smile. "You've done something extraordinary today," she said. "You've prevented a disaster that could have affected entire colonies, and you did it quietly, without recognition. That is the value of human insight." Alex felt a surge of pride. He had started this summit thinking he was simply pretending, but now he understood the real lesson. Humans could make a difference in ways no machine or alien could. Their ability to observe, improvise, and act with courage under pressure was unmatched. As evening approached, Mara and Alex returned to their suite, exhausted but triumphant. The city lights of Port Nova stretched endlessly below, a reminder of both the beauty and fragility of the galaxy they sought to protect. "You've proven yourself today," Mara said quietly as they stood by the window. "Not just as a partner, but as a human capable of extraordinary things. Remember this, Alex. The galaxy may be vast and filled with dangers, but humans, we are adaptable. We are essential." Alex nodded, his mind racing with the events of the day. The summit had been far more than a test of his ability to pretend. It had been a trial of his courage, his creativity, and his humanity. And he had passed, proving that even in a universe dominated by technology and alien intelligence, humans still had a vital role to play. That night, as he lay in bed, Alex reflected on the day. He realized that pretending to be Mara's boyfriend had been the gateway to discovering something far more significant: his own potential, the power of human intuition, and the ways humans could make a difference in a galaxy that often underestimated them. Tomorrow promised new challenges, more panels, and more opportunities for humans to shine. And Alex, though still anxious, felt a quiet confidence that he could meet whatever came next. He had begun to understand the truth that Mara had hinted at from the start. Humans, in all their imperfection and unpredictability, were not just participants in the galaxy. They were protectors, innovators, and essential contributors to the future. And in that realization, Alex felt something he hadn't felt in a long time: hope. The next morning, Port Nova shimmered under a pale pink sunrise, but the calm was deceptive. Alex felt it in the pit of his stomach. Today would be different. The summit's schedule was full, but he sensed tension in every corridor, every glance, every interaction. Yesterday's minor sabotage attempt had been just a warning. Today, he feared, would bring the real challenge. He met Mara in the conference lounge. She was reviewing reports with her usual poise, yet there was a flicker of concern in her eyes, a rare crack in her otherwise composed exterior. "Alex," she said quietly as he approached, "I need you to be more than observant today. I need you to act if necessary. The delegates are testing boundaries, and some may be here with more dangerous intent than yesterday." Alex swallowed, feeling the weight of responsibility pressing down on him. This was no longer about pretending to be a boyfriend. This was about protecting people, technologies, and colonies that relied on Elysium Corp's innovations. The first event was a joint panel on advanced environmental stabilization technology, crucial for the outer colonies suffering from atmospheric collapse. As Mara presented, Alex noticed the same group of suspicious delegates lingering nearby, whispering among themselves and making subtle gestures toward the central control terminal. His instincts flared. "They're planning something big," he muttered to Mara during a short break. Mara nodded sharply. "I agree. We must be ready." Alex quickly set up a discreet monitoring system using his access and technical knowledge. He tracked every unusual movement, every attempt to interact with the network, and every subtle exchange of information. Hours passed with quiet tension as he observed, calculated, and prepared. Then, it happened. During a live demonstration of a new energy grid that could stabilize entire colonies' atmospheres, the suspicious delegates tried to access the system remotely. A ripple of panic threatened the room as the network blinked with irregular activity. Alex's mind raced. He had a choice: alert security and risk creating chaos, or act discreetly to prevent disaster. Trusting his instincts, he leaned over the control interface, analyzing the intrusion. Within moments, he traced the source, sealed the breach, and rerouted critical data, all without alarming the delegates or interrupting the demonstration. The room continued as if nothing had happened. Delegates applauded, impressed by the technology, unaware that a potential catastrophe had been averted by a human's quick thinking and creativity. Mara's gaze found Alex, and for the first time she allowed herself a full, genuine smile. "You did it," she said softly. "You saved the demonstration and perhaps the summit itself. I underestimated the value of human instincts. Today I understand." Alex felt a mix of relief and pride. He had started this week thinking he was simply playing a role, but now he realized that humans' creativity, intuition, and courage could outmatch technology and even alien strategy in critical moments. But the crisis wasn't over. The intruders had been repelled for now, but Alex had noticed subtle signals, encrypted messages, unusual body language, and traces of interference in the network that suggested a larger plot. They were not acting alone. Someone inside the summit might be collaborating with them. During a private meeting with Mara, Alex shared his findings. "There's more going on than we see. Yesterday's attempt was small. Today was a warning. I think the next move will be coordinated, and the goal is larger than just sabotage." Mara's expression darkened. "Then we must act preemptively. We cannot wait for a disaster to happen. I need you, Alex, to be my eyes, my instincts, and my partner in this. Not just for appearances, but for real protection." Alex nodded, feeling the gravity of her words. He realized that their fake relationship had evolved into a real partnership, one that relied on trust, collaboration, and complementary strengths. Mara brought strategy, authority, and precision. Alex brought intuition, improvisation, and human insight. Together, they could face challenges no single person or machine could. The afternoon brought the next demonstration: interstellar communication satellites designed to link distant colonies. As Mara presented, Alex noticed subtle signals of another attempted intrusion. This time, it wasn't just minor manipulation. It was a full attempt to take control of the satellite network, which could isolate colonies and create panic. Acting quickly, Alex guided Mara to a side control terminal, whispering instructions while she adjusted the network parameters. Their hands moved in harmony, coordinating technical commands with precise timing. It was a dance of intellect, intuition, and trust. Within minutes, the threat was neutralized, and the demonstration continued seamlessly. Mara looked at Alex, her eyes reflecting respect and genuine admiration. I've always known humans could be clever, but I've never seen one act with such precision under pressure. You're remarkable. Alex felt a warmth he hadn't expected. He realized that this week of pretending had uncovered not just his own abilities, but also the truth about humans. They could adapt, collaborate, and act decisively in ways no machine, or even most aliens, could anticipate. As evening fell, a private dinner was arranged for Mara, Alex, and a few trusted delegates. The atmosphere was tense but controlled. Alex noticed small details: the slight hesitation in the host's greetings, the unusual positioning of certain delegates, and subtle gestures that hinted at hidden agendas. During the dinner, a final attempt was made by the intruders, this time with a direct approach. One of them tried to access the network through an external device, relying on stealth and distraction. Alex noticed immediately. With a calm efficiency, he intercepted the signal, rerouted it, and traced its origin. Security quietly removed the intruder without anyone noticing. Mara exhaled, visibly relieved. Alex, your instincts saved the summit, the presentations, and possibly the colonies. You've shown what humans can do when they combine courage, intelligence, and intuition. Alex smiled, realizing that this was more than just survival. It was proof of humanity's value. In a galaxy dominated by technology, algorithms, and alien strategies, humans still had a role that no one could replace. That night, Alex and Mara stood by the balcony, looking over the glowing cityscape. The events of the day weighed heavily, but there was also a sense of triumph and partnership. "You've changed my perspective," Mara said quietly. "I used to think humans were unpredictable and unreliable. Now I see you are essential, and not just for appearances." Alex felt a quiet pride. He had begun the week as someone forced into a charade, but now he stood as a protector, a problem solver, and a trusted partner. The summit had tested his abilities, his courage, and his human ingenuity, and he had proven that humans could rise to challenges no machine or alien could manage alone. "Thank you," he said softly, "for trusting me, for giving me a chance to really make a difference." Mara looked at him, her gaze steady. "No, Alex, thank you. Today, humans didn't just survive, they saved the summit. And in doing so, you reminded me that adaptability, courage, and intuition are strengths we cannot overlook." As Alex turned away from the balcony, he felt a renewed sense of purpose. Tomorrow, the summit would conclude, and he knew that more challenges awaited. But now he understood something vital. Humans were not just participants in the galaxy. They were innovators, protectors, and essential contributors to the future. And as he prepared for sleep, he felt a quiet determination. Whatever threats awaited, whatever dangers emerged, he would be ready. Because he was human, and humans could adapt, think, and act in ways that no machine or alien could predict. And sometimes, that was enough to change the course of the galaxy. The final day of the summit dawned bright and clear over Port Nova. Alex woke with a mixture of exhaustion and anticipation. The past few days had tested him in ways he could never have imagined. He had learned the value of human intuition, courage, and adaptability. He had saved presentations, averted sabotage, and proved that even in a galaxy dominated by advanced technology and alien intelligence, humans could make a critical difference. Mara appeared at his door, poised and ready as always. "Alex," she said quietly, "today is the final day. The last panel, the closing ceremony, and the awards, but there's more. I've received intelligence suggesting a coordinated attack may happen during the closing, an attempt to manipulate summit results and discredit Elysium Corp. You must be ready." Alex nodded, his heart racing. The stakes were higher than ever. Failure wasn't just personal. It could impact colonies, research, and the reputation of an entire corporation he had grown to care about. The summit began with routine panels, and Alex moved through them with practiced ease. His earlier nervousness had transformed into quiet confidence. He noticed details that others missed, the subtle gestures of delegates, the tiny irregularities in the system, and patterns that suggested the presence of hidden threats. During a demonstration of environmental stabilization satellites, Alex detected unusual network activity. A group of delegates attempted to access control codes, aiming to manipulate the system and create false data that could compromise colonies. "Now," Alex whispered to Mara. She nodded, her gaze steady. Together, they approached a private control station. Alex guided Mara, providing instructions in real time while simultaneously tracking intruders through the network. Their movements were seamless, a dance of intellect and trust. Mara manipulated the system with precision, and Alex anticipated every possible move the intruders could make. In a tense moment, the intruders tried to bypass security protocols. Alex quickly improvised, using a combination of human intuition and technical knowledge. He traced their access point, cut off their connection, and rerouted critical data. Within minutes, the threat was neutralized without alarming the audience or delegates. Mara exhaled, her tension easing slightly. "Alex, you've done it again. You've prevented disaster." Alex felt a surge of pride. He had started the summit thinking he was merely pretending, but now he realized he was making a real impact. Humans, with their creativity, quick thinking, and intuition, were irreplaceable, but the day wasn't over. As the closing ceremony approached, a subtle yet unmistakable disruption appeared on the summit's main network. Screens flickered, communication links wavered, and delegates murmured in confusion. The coordinated attack was real, and this time it was larger than anything Alex had anticipated. "Stay calm," Mara said, her voice steady but urgent. "We face it together." Alex nodded. He felt a deep focus settle over him. He wasn't just pretending anymore. He was part of a team that could save the summit, the colonies, and perhaps even prove the enduring value of humanity itself. They moved to the Central Command Terminal, where Alex immediately analyzed the disruption. The intruders had created multiple access points, attempting to override both the environmental systems and the communication satellites. It was a sophisticated plan designed to create chaos and discredit Elysium Corp. Alex's mind raced. He coordinated with Mara, who managed strategic system controls, while he anticipated and blocked intrusion attempts in real time. He improvised solutions that no algorithm or pre-programmed AI could predict. His decisions were fast, intuitive, and precise. Minutes felt like hours, but gradually the chaos subsided. The network stabilized, systems returned to normal, and the summit continued uninterrupted. Delegates were unaware of the crisis that had nearly derailed the event. Mara looked at Alex, her expression one of genuine admiration. "I underestimated the value of human intuition. Today you've proven that humans are not just participants, they are essential. Without your insight, we could have lost everything." Alex smiled, feeling a profound sense of fulfillment. The summit was more than a test of his ability to pretend. It had become a stage for him to demonstrate the irreplaceable power of human creativity, courage, and adaptability. As the closing ceremony continued, awards were announced for the most impactful contributions to interstellar technology. To Alex's surprise, his efforts were recognized, not publicly for the heroics he had performed behind the scenes, but in a private acknowledgement from Mara and the board. "Alex," Mara said quietly after the ceremony, "your actions have ensured the success of this summit. The colonies you've indirectly protected will benefit from your decisions. You've done more than I could have imagined." Alex felt a warmth in his chest. He had begun this week fearing humiliation and loss, pretending to be someone he was. Now he realized that pretending had given him the chance to discover who he truly was and what humans could achieve. During a quiet moment on the balcony, overlooking the glowing city of Port Nova, Mara spoke softly. "You've changed my perspective, Alex. Humans are adaptable, courageous, and invaluable. Today you proved it." Alex nodded. "I couldn't have done it without you. And pretending to be your partner gave me the chance to act, to observe, and to really make a difference. It taught me something important." Mara smiled faintly. "Yes, and perhaps it taught me something as well." They stood together, gazing at the horizon, the neon-lit towers reflecting off the water below. Alex realized that their relationship, though it began as a charade, had evolved into something meaningful. Respect, trust, and collaboration had replaced awkward pretenses. They had become real partners in every sense that mattered. The summit concluded successfully. Delegates departed with a renewed sense of collaboration, unaware of the crises that had threatened to derail the event. The technology showcased promised to stabilize distant colonies, advance interstellar communication, and improve countless lives. And behind the scenes, a human had played a critical role in safeguarding it all. As Alex packed his belongings, Mara approached him. "You've proven that humans have something unique: intuition, creativity, and courage. Don't ever forget it. And don't let anyone tell you otherwise." Alex felt a smile spread across his face. "I won't, and thank you for trusting me and for giving me a chance to make a difference." Mara's smile was genuine this time, warm and approving. "The galaxy could use more humans like you, Alex, and I hope you realize it. You are more capable than you think." As they left Port Nova together, Alex reflected on the week. What had started as a humiliating, awkward task, pretending to be someone's partner, had transformed into an opportunity to prove the value of humanity. His courage, intuition, and creativity had made a real difference. Humans, in all their imperfections, had contributed something irreplaceable to the galaxy. And in that realization, Alex felt something deeper than pride. He felt hope. Hope that humans could thrive, not just survive, in a universe filled with challenges, technology, and beings far more advanced than themselves. For the first time in a long while, Alex believed that humans could truly matter, and that even in the vastness of space, their heart, intuition, and courage could shine brighter than any machine, algorithm, or alien intellect. The journey had changed him. It had taught him that humans were not just observers of the galaxy. They were participants, protectors, and essential contributors to the future. And as Alex walked beside Mara, ready to return home and continue his work, he knew that this was only the beginning. The galaxy was vast, challenges would continue, but humanity had proven itself, and Alex had discovered his place in it. And for that, he was ready for anything.